Hey, this is Umbran Libris, and welcome to day 4 of my Pokemon Violet Adventure Journal. After I finished yesterday spending a long time looking for the 2 little twin white Pokemon, I found one within a few minutes of starting today. Tandemaus is not the most exciting new Pokemon, but I did see in the Pokédex that it evolves, so I'm willing to give it a chance. I named mine Meg and Peg after one of the twin trainer pairs from Generation 2. With that out of the way, I spent a lot of time exploring Artazon. There are a lot of attractions in Artazon. There's the maze, there's the pool, there's the jungle gym, but there's really very little that's of real interest. But I noticed how these pieces of art look like the Heterarchical Loop, a secret base decoration that you can get from Lily Cove Museum in Oraz. There's also these ones that look a lot like the Meditative Seat decoration that you can also get from the museum. They're not identical, but they look so similar that I think it's obvious that Brassius was the artist responsible for those. Maybe that was already known. I don't remember if an artist name was given for those pieces, but I liked the callback here. At the Artazon Gym, though, things did get a little bit more interesting. The gym test, again, was super simple. You're supposed to find 10 Sunflora, but 3 of them are right there where you start. So really not much of a challenge. But the battle was. I really liked that Brassius' ace was a Sudowoodo, so a grass-type Sudowoodo. I thought that was pretty clever, but its move, Trailblaze, nearly wrecked me. Because most of the Pokemon that I had with me that were strong against Grass-type and resistant to grass moves were weak to Rock. So after it got just 1 or 2 Trailblaze speed boosts in, it was nearly unstoppable. Thankfully though, my very last Pokemon, Mimic the Gimmighoul, was able to close out the battle for me. It had enough defense to take a couple of hits and just tackle to chip away the remaining HP. Next up, I wanted to take care of the first Team Star base that was nearby and start off my Starfall journey. As I'm walking up, of course, I get interrupted by Cassiopeia giving me a call to tell me how things are gonna go, but then Director Clavel shows up all "how do you do fellow kids" like and introduces himself as Clive. Cassiopeia somehow doesn't seem to suspect this, but it was obvious to everyone. Going towards the actual base, the grunt at the gate, having a level 25 Pokemon, which is about 5 levels higher than what I had at the time, should have hinted to me that I was not quite ready for that challenge. But I managed to beat him anyway, and I went in and attempted the Star Barrage challenge. And I actually really liked it. I thought it was a fun way to turn the auto battle feature into something actually challenging. I say actually challenging, but the barrage itself was pretty straightforward. I lost a Pokemon, but I didn't have to heal anyone, and I got through all of it. But when Mela came out for me to face her, things took a turn. Mela's Torkoal, by itself, took out most of my team. So by the time I took it out, and the vehicle turned out to be the thing that I had to battle next, Revavroom, I had no chance. I'm not even convinced that thing was a Pokemon, really. It seems a lot like the mechas from Pokestar Studios, or something like that. But the fact is, I did not defeat it. I was so significantly behind on levels that I decided that I'm gonna leave this for later. I'll come back here another time. Instead, I thought it would be a good idea for me to go after all of the Titans. Since defeating each Titan unlocks a new explorability for Miraidon, it seemed like a good idea to try getting as many of those as possible first, so that I can have more freedom in exploring the landscape later when I'm trying to take care of the other objectives. On the way up the mountain, I encountered some classic Zelda-style boulder dodging. I really appreciated that. But when I got to the top and found Bombirdier, I think it's a great name, but it really feels more like a Mario enemy type of design than a Pokemon. And again, Arven showed up to help right on time, which made the encounter feel much easier than it would have been otherwise, and I didn't get the challenge level that I would have liked. But we beat it, and afterwards, as we're having our picnic and Arven is giving us sandwiches, he reveals that he was going on this journey to help his injured Mabostiff. Not sure how to pronounce that. Mabostiff? I hadn't seen this Pokemon before. My Mastiff has not evolved. And it's just a dog. It's literally just a dog. I guess the one thing that I left wondering from that scene was why Arven felt like he needed to hide his injured Mastiff. Why didn't he tell me about that before? He probably would have felt like a more relatable character if we knew from the beginning that he was doing this to help his injured Pokemon. That was all that I accomplished in terms of major events, but throughout the day, I also caught a Cyclizar and a Paldean Tauros. And because I was pretty unsure about whether those two Pokemon and some of my others would evolve, I thought to finally review the Pokédex and see what I could find out. I already knew that in the Pokédex you could see hints about some of the Pokemon that you don't have, but I hadn't actually thoroughly gone through them to figure out which new Pokemon that I have are still going to evolve or not. And I really like that I can do that. It gives me that kind of hint of excitement of what is this Pokemon going to turn into by just giving me a silhouette, while also taking away the potential wasted time of trying to train a Pokemon to evolve when it doesn't actually evolve. So, using that information, I moved some Pokemon off of the to be trained list and moved some other Pokemon on, because I found out that Dunsparce is going to evolve. That's exciting. I feel like that's something that the community has been asking for since Generation 3 at least. I also found a Terra Lokix. I couldn't defeat it, but I really liked the way that it looks, and so now I'm even more excited for my own Nimble to evolve. Tomorrow, I will probably try to go for another Titan, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next chapter.